I get to sit and watch the view, while we're doing this, so
Yeah.
keeps me from nodding off quite so much. Someone told me it looked like a hat in a meeting a few days ago.
All right, you guys are live. Let me double check. Let me just pull it up on my phone to make sure it's working. All right.
Good?
You're good.
All right. All right, I've got 5 o'clock, so I'll call the meeting to order today, Monday, May 18th. Roll call, Selectman Mike Mansalilli.
Here.
Mackenzie Jewett.
Here.
Kevin Buck.
Here.
Myself, Jamie Thurlow. And Town Manager Chris Saunders. And Town Clerk Katie Danderan. Adoption of agenda. Is there anything?
Jamie, do you want to have a motion for excused absence?
Oh, yeah. Okay. I was going to do it after that. But I did talk to Howdy earlier, and he contacted you as well, right, Chris?
Yes, he did.
Said that he could not make this evening's meeting.
I'll make a motion to excuse Howdy Goodwin from tonight's meeting.
Second.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded to excuse Howdy from tonight's meeting. Any discussion? All those in favor, Mike?
Yes.
Mackenzie?
Yes.
Kevin?
Yes.
Myself is yes. All right, adoption of agenda. Is there anything anybody would like to change on the agenda? All right, approval of minutes. We have the minutes from May 4th, 2020.
Make a motion to approve
the minutes of May 4th, 2020.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to approve the minutes from Monday, May 4th, 2020. Is there any discussion? All those in favor, Mike?
Yes.
Mackenzie?
Yes.
Kevin?
Yes.
Myself is yes. All right, next we have warrants. We have warrant number 111 for $8,584.83. Warrant 112 for $48,304.81. Warrant 113 for $8,493.98. And warrant 114 for $47,756.60.
I make a motion to approve warrants 111 through 114.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to approve warrants 111 through 114. Is there any discussion? All those in favor, Mike?
Yes.
Mackenzie?
Yes.
Kevin?
Yes.
Myself is yes. All right. Finance, that's you, Chris.
Yep. So I'll go ahead and highlight some of the items that I wrote about in the memo.
Mhm.
So in April, we collected 21 or so in property taxes. That's about 8,000 more than we collected during the same month last year. So our tax collection pace continues to be ahead of the last 3 years. Sorry, Sarah just got here, so let me admit her. So my hope is that despite COVID-19, we continue to have property tax collections be on pace. I said this before, but I'll just repeat it, that many of the folks who own property in Tremont, have mortgages on it, like most people do. And so the bank just pays the property taxes as part of their standard routine. So I'm hoping that when we commit taxes and we have taxes due in the late summer, that means that we stay on track for my KIF. Now the one that was a major concern was vehicle excise tax. So we only collected $5,000 in vehicle excise tax in April. Now this can change a lot from month to month. And I wrote in March we collected $17,000, and in February we collected over $26,000. So having a $5,000 collection in 1 month is really very, very low. And as another point of comparison, for the last 3 Aprils, we averaged about $30,000. So we're down about 83%. Fortunately, the governor did suspend her moratorium on vehicle excise tax. And so folks have until about June, is it June 11th, Katie? June 12th?
I believe so, June 11th.
June 11th, to renew their registrations if they have expired, or if they're expiring. So my hope is that we will start to see those vehicle excise tax, but we won't know until next month. And so for the revenues, normally I like to say that I don't have any concerns, but major concerns right now. There's not much we can do about them, but I do have concerns. Any questions on the revenue side?
The one thing I noticed, Chris, looking through it, the payment of lower taxes from Acadia
Yeah.
Is that later, or does that look like?
Yeah,
that
they do that. They do that in right at the very end of the year, sometimes even after the fiscal year is closed.
Okay.
Yep. So we should get that eventually, but it is towards the end of the year.
Okay, thanks.
Yep. So on the expense side, not much activity in the last month. The solid waste center is 10% under budget for the year, so I'm actually optimistic that we will come in under budget for the first time in the last several years. Again, we'll wait and see, but that would be good news if we did. In the wharf fund, you can see that we had expense some dollars for the wharf reconstruction project in April, so we're now about 78% of the way through the funding for this project. Of course, it is actually complete at this point. There's still a few punch list items, and so we haven't. A lot of the final payments were just approved by you on the warrants, so it's not quite 100%, but it's getting there. And then in the general ledger, we received about $2,700 in state revenue sharing. Again, this is actually slightly higher than what we received the same month last year, but I do expect to see a drop off at some point in the next couple months. And I'll repeat the same thing I said for the revenues. There were no. Normally, I say that I don't have any major concerns, but I do. But I do have major concerns, especially for the revenue sharing. But there's not much that we can do about that.
Okay, sounds good. Thank you, Chris.
I make a motion to accept the July 2019 or April 2020 financial reports.
Second.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded to accept the July 2019 through April 2020 financial reports. Is there any discussion? All those in favor, Mike,
Yes.
Mackenzie,
Yes.
Kevin,
Yes.
myself is yes. Yeah, honestly, Chris, 5,000 is extremely low for the intake for stuff, but I thought that that's about $400 more than what I thought we were going to be getting. When we first went into this, so
Yeah.
I guess it's all right considering. Not good, but it's all right. Next is regular business. We have a library budget. They have a change order just to change the deadline. Nothing else besides the deadline. Is that correct, Chris?
Correct.
Yeah. I think I can completely understand that with everything that's going on, that I figured it would be a lot longer than that of a deadline extension a while ago, but that's perfectly fine with me. A couple weeks is pretty minimal.
Yeah, they've done well. I'll make a motion to approve the May 8th, 2020 library building project change order to change the contractor's deadline from May 20th, 2020 to June 12th, 2020.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to approve the May 8th, 2020 library building change order to change the contractor's deadline from May 20th, 2020 to June 12th, 2020. Is there any discussion? Favor, Mike,
Yes.
Mackenzie,
Yes.
Kevin,
Yes.
myself is yes. All right. Next, we have the annual policy renewals. Chris, do you want to run down through and just, there's no major changes, is there?
Nope.
Well, we'll just do one at a time. Do you want to do that?
I have no comments on any of them. They're just
Okay.
updating them every year. The only thing is that after the bring them to you again. I'm just trying to check all the boxes in case the auditor comes and is looking through our files and says, you didn't renew it in May, and then in August you did something and you should have renewed it. So just want to be very clear that these are the policies.
I make a motion to adopt the general policies and bylaws of the Board of Selectmen as proposed.
Second.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded to adopt the general policies and bylaws of the Board of Selectmen as proposed. Is there any discussion? Mike,
Yes.
Mackenzie,
Yes.
Kevin,
Yes.
myself is yes. Next one is the property tax payment policy.
I make a motion to adopt the property tax payment policy as proposed.
Second.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded to adopt the property tax payment policy as proposed. Discussion. All those in favor, Mike,
Yes.
Mackenzie,
Yes.
Kevin,
Yes.
myself is yes. Next one is the check disbursement policy.
I make a motion to adopt the check disbursement policy as proposed.
Second.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded to adopt the check disbursement policy as proposed. Is there any discussion? All those in favor, Mike,
Yes.
Mackenzie,
Yes.
Kevin,
Yes.
myself is yes. Next one is the fee schedule renewal.
I'm gonna let someone else make one of these.
Okay.
I'll make a motion to adopt the schedule of department fees as proposed.
Second.
Been moved and seconded to adopt the schedule of department fees as proposed. Is there any discussion? All those in favor, Mike,
Yes.
Mackenzie,
Yes.
Kevin,
Yes.
myself is yes. All right. Yes, next we've got the town manager's report.
Yeah, we're moving right along.
Yeah.
All right. So major activities in the last couple of weeks. I've been having a lot of conversations with our insurance company, an attorney, and a workers' compensation issue. I have been invited and have been participating in a Down East COVID-19 task force. Representatives from all four towns, all four town managers, folks from the hospital, Healthy Acadia, some of our state representative delegation, folks like that, and we're just trying to talk about reopening and what we can do to keep things safe and moving forward for our community. I've created an alternate budget, or I'm in the middle of creating an alternate budget in case we cannot have town meeting. I've been continuing to track expenses related to COVID-19 costs for a possible FEMA reimbursement request. And then I have been drafting an office reopening plan should you decide to reopen at your meeting on June 1st. Some minor projects going on. I had my monthly check-in with our code enforcement officer. I attended the Hancock County Planning Commission meeting. I've had some discussions with Army Corps of Engineers regarding the proposed wharf ordinance change. I attended the League of Towns meeting. I've been having emails with the school board, principal, and superintendent regarding the COVID-19 on their election and on their budget. Been working with our engineer on the wharf grant reimbursement request. I had a meeting with Mike. Working on another possible amendment to the wharf ordinance at the request of the Harbor Committee. They are discussing possibly limiting the number of marine products that the harbor master can issue. So this may come to you at some point. It also may not, depending on how things work through the process with the Harbor Committee. I've had emails and phone calls with MDOT staff regarding the road work on Tremont Road and Harbor Drive. One of the questions the few folks have asked, including Mike, was when was the last time MDOT did Tremont Road out to Seal Cove? And I finally got an answer on that today. They said they did it back in 2015, and they even showed me the map of the project when they did it back then. I was skeptical, but they said they did it in 2015. I renewed our volunteer accident insurance. I've been working with the library trustees on a number of library building project matters. I've had email interest. I finally today got a finalized version of the heating oil contract, which I was very pleased about. I submitted my monthly general assistance report. I prepared for this meeting. I worked with Norm Clausen to have him address a beaver issue out on the Cape Road. I had a number of meetings and phone calls with Maine Coast Heritage Trust regarding their design work for the new fish ladder. We do have a site visit scheduled out there on June 8th. I changed the sign at the town office to read "Thank you, teachers" for the Teacher Appreciation Car Parade. The governor, as I mentioned earlier, did issue a new executive order ending vehicle registration suspension. So now vehicles are required to be registered by June 11th. I attended the bridge progress update, and they are planning to completely finish both bridges by mid-June. And another question that Mike asked is when would the sidewalk be paved, and that should be paved next week. Bureau of Labor site visit report, and I'm working to address the issues that they came up with. Maine DOT did their final inspection of the wharf, gave it a thumbs up. Surveyor is making progress at Head of the Harbor Cemetery, and I'm hoping that you will be able to sell cemetery lots there soon. And had discussions with folks over at GOTS about road grading, and they are hoping to grade the roads either Wednesday or Thursday, the dirt roads. Office staff has had lots of phone calls regarding tax payments, vehicle registrations. A number of people are transferring their out-of-state plates because they are getting dirty looks for having out-of-state plates. Our code enforcement officer is getting a lot of reports about possible violations, so he's working to address them, but there's been a lot of them recently. Public works projects. Troy's been getting the cemeteries ready to go and has started mowing them and just getting all the equipment ready to go for the summer mowing season, including redoing the wiring on truck 7 for that trailer. Jory helped Justin launch the floats. He's been doing a lot of yard work around the town office, relocated the speed radar to Bernard Road. He swept the sidewalks, and Justin worked to clean out the culverts on the Cape Road as Norm was helping to trap and remove that beaver that was potentially putting the road at risk for a washout. Harbor Master Justin has spent a lot of time working on floats. He set the GOTS Island floats. He's hauled out the floats on the north end of the ramp, and he set the floats on the south end of the ramp. Those north end ones are drying out, and over the next few weeks, Justin's going to be working on them so they can be relaunched. The boat pressure washed inside and out, cleaned the hull, painted the skiff. Boat's looking pretty nice. He repaired the boat trailer. He cleaned up a bunch of traps at the town office. Attended the final wharf inspection. He's been getting a lot of phone calls about moorings and permits, and he bought a new light for the dock. And some activities that'll be going on over the next couple weeks. Hopefully the new backhoe will be delivered toward the end of the month. I'll be continuing to participate in the Down East Forest meetings. I'll be attending both the Hancock County Planning Commission meeting and the League of Towns meeting. I'll be continuing to revise the FY21 budget with COVID adjustments. Hear back from the state regarding their salt bid numbers. We have the option to participate in their joint bidding for winter salt. I'm continuing to work on the committee appointment process, and I'll attend another bridge progress update. That's all I got.
Okay,
Have
thank
we
you.
had many expenses, Chris, toward, virus related?
What was that?
Have we had many virus related expenses?
Mostly staff time. All those task force that the COVID-19 task force. I view that as a COVID-19 expense, and so that's on my list for reimbursement. If fee. To be perfectly honest, I'm not optimistic, but hey, you won't get it if you don't ask.
Yeah. Okay, but there hasn't been much other than the signs or whatever.
If we do reopen in June, then I want to have a plexiglass barrier between the staff and the public expense.
Yeah.
Okay, but nothing huge.
No.
Okay, thanks.
And it seems like everything's been going kind of as usual, somewhat. I mean, there's a lot of business being conducted through the town, and things are getting fixed, and stuff is a little bit on schedule. So that's just anything is good.
Yeah.
All right. Next is the suggestions for the next meeting. Anybody have anything they'd like to add to the next meeting? Next meeting date?
Make a motion to confirm the date of the next meeting for Monday, June 1st, 2020 at 5 p.m. via Zoom with meeting ID 899-857-7726.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to confirm the date of the next meeting for Monday 1st, 2020 at 5 p.m. via Zoom with meeting ID 899-857-7726. Is there any discussion? All those in favor, Mike,
Yes.
Mackenzie,
Yes.
Kevin,
Yes.
and myself is yes. Kevin?
I'm gonna shut up. Okay. I make a motion to find that public discussion of these personal matters reasonably expected cause damage to the employee's reputation and/or violate the employee's privacy rights, and therefore to go into executive session to discuss the employment, appointment, assignment, duties, promotion, demotion, compensation, evaluation, disciplining, resignation, and/or dismissal of an individual or group of officials, public officials, appointees, or employees as permitted by 1 MRSA 405.A.
Second.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded to go into executive session as read by Kevin. Is there any discussion? All those in favor, Mike,
Yes.
Mackenzie,
Yes.
Kevin,
Yes.
myself is yes. So we'll log out of this meeting, log into this new meeting ID, and then do you want us to come back to this meeting after, Chris?
That's
Darren.
exactly.
Okay.
You'll just punch in that 899-857-7726, and it'll take you back in.
Okay,
All right.
perfect. Sounds good.
Bye.
See you, Katie.
Bye.
Should be getting there. Should be getting there. Ah, we're there.
All right, we came out of executive session at 5:54.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
Been moved and seconded to adjourn. Any discussion? All those in favor, Mike,
Yes.
Mackenzie,
Yes.
Kevin,
Let me think. Yes.
myself is yes. We adjourn at 5:55.
All right. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Have a
All
good
right,
week.
see you guys.
Everybody, and
Bye-bye.
see ya.